In today's episode, the Ukrainian trail, weapons used by Hamas terrorists to attack Israel, could have been brought in from Ukraine. Kremlin's misogyny propagandists mock the Israeli defense forces. They posted a video from the TikToks of female soldiers with a sarcastic caption. The counteroffensive is failed. The European Union will not provide Ukraine with military aid worth 5 billion euros in 2024. Our analytical team at Detector Media is on constant watch, tracking the spread of the boldest fakes from Kremlin propaganda. I'm Vadym Miskyi, and for the next 10 minutes I'll guide you through the key facts. Let's get started. Weapons used by Hamas terrorists to attack Israel could supposedly have been imported from Ukraine. This fake has been pushed by Kremlin propagandists. They refer to a statement by an advisor to the leader of the so-called Donetsk People Republic.
Стоит заметить, что по иронии судьбы именно Израиль вместе со своими коллегами из НАТО передавал еще недавно Украине различные виды вооружений, которые в том числе были перепроданы украинскими военнослужащими, украинскими военными чиновниками различным террористам по всему миру, достаточно в больших количествах и абсолютно бесконтрольно. И вот по иронии судьбы сейчас в израильских солдат стреляют их же оружием. И оружием, которое было передано в свое время Украине из НАТО.
Russian propagandists are spreading a video in which representatives of the Hamas terrorist group appear to be displaying Ukrainian weapons. In particular, it is claimed in Arabic that it was Ukraine that sold Western weapons to the terrorists. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry says that Ukrainians could not have done this. After all, our Western partners are closely monitoring the weapons and the military equipment we received to fight the Russian invaders. In turn, Polish President Andrzej Duda noted that the situation in the Middle East related to Hamas attacks on Israel will result in turning the focus away from Ukraine.
No, to na pewno tak, więc to na pewno sprzyja tutaj Rosji i rosyjskiej agresji na Ukrainę, to odwraca uwagę świata, to jedno. Natomiast przede wszystkim to obawiam się niestety wywoła kolejną presję migracyjną na Europę. Będziemy mieli pewnie znowu falę migrantów z Bliskiego Wschodu, która uderzy w Europę.
Terror has already opened too many fronts against humanity, Volodymyr Zelensky said. He hinted at the sponsors of this terror.
Сьогодні увесь світ побачив жахливі кадри з Ізраїлю. Кадри того, як терористи знущаються з жінок, чоловіків, як захоплюють в заручники навіть літніх людей, не жаліючи. Мої співчуття усім, чиї рідні та близькі загинули. І бажаю якнайшвидшого одужання усім, хто був поранений. Коли відбувається такий удар терористів, усі, хто цінує життя, мають бути солідарними. Ми в Україні особливо сприймаємо те, що сталося. Тисячі ракет у небі Ізраїля, люди вбиті просто на вулицях, розстріляні машини з цивільними, знущання з заручників. Усе це, на жаль, терор приніс і на вулиці українських міст та сіл, і наша позиція абсолютно чітка. В будь-якій точці планети кожен, хто несе терор і смерть, повинен за це відповідати. Сьогоднішній терористичний напад на Ізраїль був ретельно підготовлений, увесь світ розуміє, які саме спонсори терору могли спонукати та забезпечити організацію цієї атаки. Ізраїль має повне право на захист від терору, як і будь-яка інша держава. І дуже важливо, щоб увесь світ об'єднано та принципово реагував на терор.
US President Joe Biden has ordered additional support for Israel after the Hamas terrorist attack.
In this moment of tragedy, I want to say to them and to the world and to terrorists everywhere that the United States stands with Israel. We will not ever fail to have their back. We'll make sure that they have the help their citizens need and they can continue to defend themselves. You know, the world's seen appalling images. Thousands of rockets in a space of hours raining down on Israeli cities. When I got up this morning, started this at 7:30, 8 o'clock, my calls. Hamas terrorists crossing in Israel, killing not only Israeli soldiers, but Israeli civilians. In the street, in their homes, innocent people murdered, wounded, entire families taken hostage by Hamas, just days after Israel marked the holiest of days in the Jewish calendar, is unconscionable. You know, when I spoke with Prime Minister Netanyahu this morning, I told him the United States stands with the people of Israel in the face of these terrorist assaults. Israel has the right to defend itself and its people, full stop. There's never justification for terrorist attacks.
This is Israel's 9/11. This is Israel's 9/11, and Israel will do everything to bring our sons and daughters back home.
To recap, on October 7, Israel was attacked from the Gaza Strip. Militants of the Palestinian terrorist group Hamas attacked the central and southern regions of the country, firing, according to the statements, 5,000 rockets. Hundreds of people were killed and went missing. Thousands were wounded. Israel officially declared martial law. Kremlin propagandists are capitalizing on the topic of socially vulnerable groups. The most cynical part is that it is about women serving in the Israeli Defense Forces. The propagandists of the 60 Minutes program posted videos from the TikTok accounts of young women with a sarcastic caption, how the Israel's army was preparing for war.
ישר רק מתחיל להתארגן 8 דקות עד שהמונית למטה 7 חברים בלימוזיין לפני 6 בבוקר אני לא חוזר הביתה 5 בחורות נכנסו לרחבה 4 שניות נכנס למות של מכונה 3 מהן תפוסות 2 בתמונה חייב להאמר על האחת הנכונה.
This video was posted by propagandists the day after a brutal attack by militants of Hamas on Israel. I would like to point out that women make up 40% of IDF's recruits and account for 25% of its officers. Israel is the only country in the world where women soldiers can participate in combat operations. Every third Israeli soldier is a woman. Many Ukrainian women soldiers also use the TikTok social platform, but this in no way diminishes their contribution to Ukraine's victory over the invaders.
Сію тобі в очі, сію проти ночі, буде тобі враже, так як відьма скаже, скільки святу землю впало зерен жита, стільки разів буде тебе враже вбито.
According to the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense, more than 42,000 women serve in the armed forces of Ukraine, and another 18,000 hold civilian positions. At least 5,000 Ukrainian women are defending our country on the front lines.
Справа в тому, що у мене немає дому, і за правилом доброго тону, як за правилом доброго ременя, згадаю, з якого я племені, пригадаю, з якого мій став.
The West admires Russia's effectiveness on the battlefield. This fake is being spread by Kremlin propagandists, reportedly citing statements by Western officials. Putin also regularly reports on the fake victories of the Russian invaders.
Убедительно, не убедительно, но вот сейчас только с начала так называемого контрнаступления, это последние данные, только с 4 июня украинские подразделения потеряли уже свыше 90 тысяч человек. Это санитарные и безвозвратные потери. 557 танков, почти 1900 бронемашин различного класса. Убедительно, не убедительно.
Experts from the Ukrainian Government Center for Strategic Communication and Information Security have figured out that there have not been any statements from the US or EU official missions about Russian successes on the battlefield. Western partners talk only about the achievements of Ukrainian military.
Today, your forces are moving forward. They face fierce fighting, but they are gradually gaining ground. Every meter that Ukrainian forces regains is a meter that Russia loses. And there is a stark contrast. Ukrainians are fighting for their families, their future, their freedom. Moscow is fighting for imperial delusions. Ukraine has strong backing from 31 NATO allies and many partners. In total, more than 50 nations support and supply you through the Ukraine Defense Contact Group. And over 140 nations stood up for your sovereignty at the United Nations. Meanwhile, Russia is diminished on the world stage, cut off from international markets, staying home from international summits, and reduced to seeking arms from regimes like Iran and North Korea.
British intelligence believes that the construction of new fortifications and evacuations by the Russian invaders in southern Ukraine indicate that Russia is concerned about a future breakthrough by Ukrainian troops. The European Union will not allocate 5 billion euros in military aid to Ukraine next year. This is yet another fake from Kremlin propaganda. The propagandists cite a supposed statement by the head of European diplomacy, Josep Borrell. I would like to emphasize that there is a problem with the government in Bratislava. The Slovak government is suspending military aid to Ukraine. This came after the victory in the parliamentary elections of the left-wing populist party of former Prime Minister Robert Fico. He promised to stop sending weapons to Ukraine, block Kyiv's prospective NATO membership, and oppose sanctions against Russia. In turn, Josep Borrell reminded that since the beginning of the full-scale war, all EU member states have demonstrated unity in supporting Ukraine.
Well, the European Union remains united on its support to Ukraine. We remain united. I don't see any member states faulting on their engagement to support Ukraine from the tools that we have. And what we are doing, I think I've already explained, don't want me to repeat again what I've been telling you. What we will do more of the same. More putting on the table financial requests to the member states that have to decide. On the civilian side, economic support, which is as much as important as the military one, because the economics of Ukraine cannot fall down, otherwise there will not be any possibility of supporting the war effort. And you know that there is a proposal for 50 billion euros. And then on the military side, to revamp the European Peace Facility with a dedicated European specific fund to continue supporting Ukraine. As I said, there is a figure for the next 4 years, and a commitment for the next year of 5 billion more. This is what we have to do.
Keep in mind that the European Parliament supported the revision of the EU budget for 2021-2027. The document contains provisions for the creation of the Ukraine facility, a new 50 billion euros fund to help Ukraine. Ukraine is grateful to its Western partners for their military support. We will definitely win. Have a good day.